Hi, my name is Sydney, and I am here to talk us through it for Saturday, March 29th, 2025. It is also known as Saturn's Day, and it also happens to be a new moon solar partial eclipse in Aries at 9 degrees exact. The eclipse is happening at 3:57 a.m. and again, it is only a partial eclipse, so only part of the sun will be eclipsed. So some key things that we need to remember about this eclipse is that it is a new moon, right? So new beginnings, faded new beginnings. When we have eclipses, they mean faded things. New beginnings meaning new frontiers, new we're on the precipice of being pushed forward into our future. We are now in the first sign, Aries, number one, right? The pioneer, the warrior, the adventurer, the lone wolf, if you will, out being pushed forward in some sort of way. And with eclipses, sometimes it can just pick us up off of a path and place us here and be like, you're supposed to be there. So you could have had some wild things happening in this season that have placed you somewhere where you didn't think that you would have been before this eclipse cycle has happened. And I know for me, that has happened to me. It's been wild. Okay. So we have an exalted sun, right? The sun likes being in Aries. He usually is behaving pretty well, right? He's the king, the sun, the king, but he's being eclipsed, but partially. So there could be something here about our leaders, those who consider themselves kings, right? Kind of being some of their power being taken away from them, right? Being drained of their power in that moment or covered or corrupted in some sort of way. And now that exalted sun is being ruled by a Mars in Cancer out of bounds that is not behaving well. So it's as if our kings aren't behaving well, right? They have this veneer of I am everything, I am number one, I can do as I please, I can do everything that I want, right? But their motivations aren't good. And I don't know. All you gotta do is look around. It's fine. Now, the sun and the moon will be having this fated meeting in the first mansion called Al Sharatain, or also known as the Horns of Aries. I know that I probably butchered Al Sharatain, and I'm so sorry. I just don't speak Arabic. This particular mansion can denote a place of conflicts, whirlwinds, and quarrels. This lunar mansion has the nature of Mars and Saturn together. Mars and Saturn are two malefic bodies. One cuts, one ends, one blocks, right? One heats up and severs, and one cools, freezes, and makes die. It is also the mansion of new beginnings. So things have to abruptly sometimes come to an end in order for a new beginning to take hold, right? There is no beginning without an end. That sounds very cryptic. Jesus Christ. Anyways, this gives us the impetus to move forward. Something ends, and now we're like, what now? Now we see the way forward because we can't go back. And it pushes us into new horizons, into new frontiers. The sun and the moon are in parentella, which is a way of having conversation with the stars, right? With Sirius. Sirius is culminating, so this means that there's something potent here. It is a star of great risk, great reward. It is a star of power, right? And it can also be dangerous. All right, so now we know that very potentially this eclipse has some dangerous factors, right? It has some very abrupt dangerous factors that have to do probably with leadership, Aries being a leadership sign. in early degrees, so maybe it's not so good at it yet, but let's hope for the best. If people are into harmonics, it is kind of interesting that the sun and the moon are biseptile to Mars. Um, and biseptiles are a kind of alien aspect, if I remember correctly. I'm not super familiar with all of the harmonics, but I do think that there is kind of like this. I don't want to call it minor, it's just a different kind of conversation that the sun and moon are having with its Lord. And I think it is giving us a kind of spiritual aspect. This is a more spiritual type of eclipse, as if everything that we're not doing isn't somehow spiritual. We are spirits living in these meat sacks, just walking around experiencing life. Very, very important and on note here is Neptune is with Sheet. That is a star that really can talk about water disasters. So again, here we are, back to danger. Sorry about that. And then we also have Mercury retrograde in Aries on the Aries point, on the world point at 0 Aries. So whatever comes out here affects all of us. This news is heard by the world. It's a world point. It brings a sense of everyone knows what's going on here. Whatever's being communicated here, right? It is Mercury, the messenger, is on the world point. And he says, hey guys, I got something to say, and it's about this, right? This information that's coming out or coming to light. And it is within, 3 degrees of Pluto. So this could be some sort of information about institutional power or some sort of secrets coming out that we all need to know in order to push us forward into a different direction. And certainly this could be messages of war, of strife, right? That Aries principle. And it could be, the messages were whispered before. Mercury is retrograde. So he's coming back and he's like, you didn't hear me the first time? So I need you to hear me now because we got to deal with this and go forward in a new way. New moon, right? Solar partial eclipse. What else do we have here? Mars is still close to a perfect trine with Saturn. So it is still in that working aspect, trying to, also propel us forward in a harmonious way. I think really more in a flowing way. The two malefics together in a flowing aspect means that sometimes things are just getting cut away and they just fall through our fingertips. It's not like abrupt at all. It's just like, oh, and then that's gone. Oh, that's gone too. Okay. Which has very much been what the last kind of couple of weeks have been. Saturn is within 2 degrees of conjoining the North Node. It is in that balsamic phase, so it's trying to wrap something up around its structures that it's trying to build, its goals, the way that it's trying to maybe bring a bit of reality into our world, the reality of the dream that it's been trying to build, that North Node in Pisces. What else do we have here? Venus is going back towards that node to communicate something in order to push us forward as well. Now, Jupiter is ruling, Jupiter is ruling over all of those Pisces planets. So there still is something about a lot of information, a lot of data, right? And we are trying to maybe work it into something that works for everybody. But it's still too much. Too much everywhere, all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. And that Jupiter in Gemini is ruled by that Mercury in Aries. So there could be something about laws, the judicial system. We know they're not working all together well, Jupiter in Gemini and its detriment. So all that to say is, I think we're going to be feeling like we have been put through the freaking ringer. And it is good to be as calm as we can on eclipses. It's a lot of energy being kind of pulsed into our dimension, right? Into where we are for us to deal with. And it's pushing us. It's saying, now we go this way. And I think, I don't know what it is that we're going to be going through, but I think it seems a little bit dangerous, and we all need a lot more love, care, and compassion in order for us to go forward in this new way that we are probably going to be forced to go in. All right. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to today's Astro Weather with me. I'm Sydney. As a reminder, I'm always open to seeing both new and my beloved returning clients. My website is ddastrology.com. That is D as in dog, astrology.com to check me out, and just click the email buttons in order to schedule with me. If you're into a more conversational feel with your podcast and content, I have a podcast called BS Astrology with my fellow Mercurial Mommy Bender, and we put out episodes every Sunday for the week. Just search BS Astrology on YouTube or wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts, including Spotify, Audible, and more. Have a good day.